are back for this part 2 of our session tonight. So, as we left off, somebody had just taken a Douglas Adams to the face.
Big spa moment.
So, yes, as I had mentioned, Morgana has left the she's gone through basically to check up on your rooms, and therefore she's turned the corner here, if you can see just up north, and is and I shall remove her for now from just bump her.
Can see her, but after reading the third chapter of this book with quite some intimidated looks, I will place the book back on the shelf.
Are you figuring out some new stuff about yourself?
Oh, that's definitely true.
So, do you want to go visit your rooms, or do you want to stay here for the meal? How are you going to do things?
What Anput said before, I will say it again.
Anput doesn't know what everyone else wants. I'll follow everyone else.
I think Callahan is going to indulge in some people watching. This is a motley crowd.
Mm-hmm.
This is a new environment, and I feel he will enjoy the meal and also kind of like keep an eye on Morgana as well as anyone else to get a sense of how things are done here.
Morgana, as I mentioned, Morgana sort of disappears to where you understand, or would be the rooms, to the northeast. But you are not disappointed, as almost exchanging one for the other, a pair of halfling women sort of saunter in. They sort of arm in arm, sort of very cheerful. There's a Uda. Who did we lose? Have we lost someone? Well, I guess we lost the person.
The wine got to him.
No, actually,
he was frozen.
I'm still here.
Yeah. We've lost our half elf, our people watcher.
I've turned off my camera because I'm eating crumble right now.
No
worries.
No
I'm
worries.
still alive.
No worries. I mean, the audience don't even know that you have a camera on or not. So.
Yeah, fair enough. But they do know that I'm eating crumble now.
Yes, they do.
And I'm afraid you can't have some. By the time this goes up, it'll be weeks too old.
Crumble.
Okay.
Internet crash.
Okay. Well, we'll just continue on here for a moment. Both. So, like I mentioned, a pair of. Right. Yeah. Discord. Here we go. A pair of halfling, sort of not hand in hand, sort of elbow in elbow, sort of saunter up. They seem to be sort of giggling as to one of them sort of looks back to where Morgana disappeared in the corridor, and they seem to be sharing sort of a private joke together. While one of them has sort of has her hair up in a ponytail with a streak of white hair, the other one a bit more of a conservative bob or whatnot. By their face, you can tell that they are sisters. Not twins, but but enough of resemblance to know that they would be of the same family. As they saunter in, sort of look about and immediately clock the newcomers. I think that you would. So Hawthorne, you're back to them, so you wouldn't be able to necessarily see. Let's give these a bit of a. Here we go. Here's one. and here's the other.
I see.
And I guess that particularly. There's definitely a look of new people, a bit surprised. One of them sort of, I guess Callahan. Again, you sort of watching. You notice that maybe one is sort of maybe a bit. The more conservative one is a bit more reticent to sort of join the group. But there's a whisper from her sister, and she sort of nods, and they sort of move in. And they set themselves up very quickly into the two seats next to the professor. And in their turn, oh, hello! Just arrived, have you?
Oh yes, just recently. Indeed.
Oh, interesting. Where do you hail from? Are you coming from far?
Relatively so, yes.
And well, you haven't. No, you haven't been here long. Have you looked around? Have you seen the pool yet?
Oh, not yet. Not yet.
Oh.
I'm afraid we already had some good time here.
Good. Oh, hello. And who might you be? Turning to Anput.
I'm Anput.
Oh,
There's a pool.
yes. Just beyond the through the main lobby and to the doors up to the right. A heated pool too.
Okay. It's nice. Who are you?
I'm Leola, and this is my sister Kelna.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
I don't think. And so the Kelna sort of turns to Leola and said, and so there's a. I think Kelna has sort of a look of wonderment to you. We've been a bit around, but I don't think I've ever seen someone like you. Turns to the professor and goes, not to. Are they from the Feywilds, or where did you find them? They don't look like.
I'm afraid I cannot tell exactly, but it's not from this world.
So for the Feywilds, then? Are you from the Feywilds, Anput?
No.
No. I'm Forest Humblewood.
Oh,
Only name I know.
The two sort of look to each other and go, "Oh, we don't. Well, we've been around, but we never heard that. Fascinating." And I think, and I'm not going to throw you under the bus there, my friend.
If it's me, no, please do.
Yeah, no. Well, Demospy,
I'm up for everything.
Yes, but how much do you know about Humblewood?
Myself, nope.
Let's
Not
just
really.
let's just say that you were peppered with questions as to how you got here, what was it like, and whatnot, and there's definitely a moment where I think we mentioned that we did not mention that whenever you speak, the pearl on your amulet sort of glows a bit, almost like a sort of a voice.
Yeah, it is the amulet speaking.
Yeah.
But Anput herself is also making like subtle bird noises as well, because she is just speaking her native tongue.
Yeah.
And the amulet is doing its absolute hardest to just change it to common.
You know what? Just to have a roll, could you roll me make me a charisma roll, just pure charisma.
Oh.
I know.
Well, that's pretty high actually.
That is actually very high for you.
There's a 13. That is a 15 minus 2.
they seem to be. They certainly seem to be fascinated by you. To the point where, I mean, Professor, you were completely forgotten. But there's maybe a moment where, at what point would you stop them, or would you just lean into the conversation?
Anput doesn't actually have the social power to say I'm uncomfortable. She just stands there, a bit. She usually has her arms to herself, but they're like towards her chest currently.
Okay. Hawthorne, make me an insight check.
Right away.
And I think I would ask Anput, give me a difficulty for the professor.
Okay.
I mean, how difficult are you to read?
She's easy to read.
Okay. So I think with the 16, there's definitely a moment where the peppering from the two halflings, you can see, Hawthorne, you can see that Anput is sort of getting not necessarily ill at ease, but struggling to answer the questions as they seem to ramp up like a Gatling gun.
I will interrupt them and call their attention that the meal is soon to be served.
Yes, that's actually why we've come out. They usually serve at this hour. Haven't heard the chimes yet. Oh, you know about the chimes?
Oh, not yet.
No, they're heard all over the temple. That's when meals are served. But you can pretty much come in at any time of the day, or evening for that matter, and just request a meal. Greensong is a wonderful cook.
Greensong?
Yes, she's one of the 3 sisters who take care of the place.
Recognize the name. Greensong.
Yeah, we have a
Recognized.
dinner outside.
The painting, remember?
Yep.
Already met
Get off
Morgana.
Get off my book.
No!
You get off my
Not
book.
my book! No! I made this!
Sorry. That was entirely out of game. Keep going, please.
I like having it up.
Oh, gods, I can't believe my channel is going to be a
Already
cat
met
channel.
Morgana. Already met Morgana.
Yeah, so looking forward to meeting her.
She usually comes out and announces the menu. So you'll see her soon.
Lovely.
How long you two? How long you've been here?
Oh, we've been here for a bit more than a week. Really enjoying ourselves, trying to get away from the city and all.
Not used to city life.
I mean,
Rather
even
rural.
yourself. Oh no, we've lived in the city our entire lives.
I'm put not clear enough. Sorry. Interested in what's being served.
Go over here. Callahan arrived.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think seeing the conversation evolve and seeing people who have been here for a while, I'd say anything, just politely or attempting to be polite, stand next to it, see where the conversation goes.
I think the conversation
Much-
turned. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just kind of waffling. Anput's kind of doing her best. But I myself am waffling at the point.
No worries.
Anput. any fruits, things like that.
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely, I'm sure. It's usually a. Anyways, if you find that you don't like it, she'll mix you something different. She caters to all
Okay.
tastes.
That's good. Yes. Yes.
When we first arrived here, there was this big sort of ogre kind of guy. He could only eat meat. Apparently, Greensong had to make a special meal and special orders just for him. But no, it's usually, and I think Callahan goes, and it's so good. It's so good. I tried getting a couple of recipes. And I didn't understand half of it. I'm pretty sure that half the ingredients wouldn't be able to we wouldn't be able to get in. And when she's about to say something, and Leona sort of nudges her and said, "Yeah, home. It'd be very difficult to find most of these things at home. Just the spices alone." I think that's when the woman behind you sort of getting her manicure done. We hear the chimes. We hear the chimes for the meal, and I think that at which point everybody sort of stops what they're doing. The chimes, as you can hear it, and people immediately sort of settled. The merchant woman basically sort of stands, goes to meet her husband, who sort of stands up, shakes the soldier's hand. There's an exchange of politeness between the young wife, and the soldier, who takes that very sort of stern salute. You can see that there's a they've known each other. They've been here for a while, maybe, and they've gotten conversations and stuff like that. They're no longer strangers. Let's put it that way. And they sort of the three of them sort of step up to the bar. The soldier sort of closer to the and sort of discussing. She has sort of a look towards the four of you who just arrived, in sort of an appraising way. You sort of realize that you're in those white fluffy gowns, while the others are sort of rested. They're in loungewear, certainly, so they're not necessarily in sort of full dinner dress. But you are certainly marked as just having arrived, and you start realizing that might be on purpose as well, as you've talked to a few people and immediately they've been helpful in telling you, oh, here are the amenities, this is what you want to do. So there's a way of including you into that dynamic. Shortly after the chimes have sort of rung, you can see the acolyte at the bar sort of move. There's a door to the back of him, and he sort of moves in, and comes out. He comes out with a series of plates on his arms, serving the first three that are at the table there, and then you have a young elf, wood elf, green hair that sort of gauze around her eyes, sort of a veil to her eyes, almost symmetrically or anti-symmetrically to the veil that the acolytes are wearing, accompanied by a sort of gruff, wide hound. As appear onto the scene Morty and Greensong.
Oh.
Oh yeah, definitely now. You
Big
can
boy.
definitely tell that she does not have sight.
Yes, no,
The
she's
image,
quite
the image
evidently
before was
blind.
hard to tell.
You can
Yes.
see she has a hand on the back of this beast, and I'm talking about this looks more less he's about the size of a Great Dane, and she's sort of slightly built, right? So the dog almost comes up to her elbow in a way. But she has at any time she has her hand sort of on the back of his neck, as he seems to shuffle him along. She announces the meal, which is, and I'm not going into details here, but it's definitely a meal. It's sort of it's a stew of some sort. There are tubers. There are there's meats, there's potatoes, but you will also find there's also currant and other sort of berries coming, sort of, which he says that are local. Of course, whenever you say local next to the Feywild, you have to trust the cook.
It could be anywhere.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
So the
Nothing quite as psychedelic as the meat, though.
Well, no. What are you doing?
Oh, there's been an accident in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Pots of pans go everywhere.
Sorry about that, folks, and sorry about those watching, because the whole screen slipped. Okay. I truly apologize. This is... Anyways, moving on. Basically, the cat jumped from the window onto my mouse mat and basically slid halfway through across my desk.
Super Mario
Anyways.
64 slide
Yeah.
theme.
Yeah, I almost had the Akira slide on my desk. It was
I do
amazing.
have an in-game question as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
How much time has passed since we walked in?
I would say about 90 minutes.
Ah, okay.
But yes, I would
halfway through the.
I would say that at some point, maybe at the point where you're starting to maybe the reason why that peppering of questions started to get a bit worrisome is that you felt the spell fading.
She's been trying to respond, but
Yeah.
she tongues faded and she didn't notice. So she's actually just not been imbued the entire time. So she
No.
goes to...
I'll say towards the end of the conversation, right?
Okay.
I won't deny whatever was said. So the Yes, go
Anput
ahead.
will go up, is now next to Professor, and she'll go up and she'll just look him in the face.
I will just respond and sign. What do you mean?
And then in sign language, might need to ask the cook about food with no meat in it.
Okay, I will do that for you.
Anput will nod.
As the sort of green song and her hound sort of move out from behind the counter, as she turns and comes up to you and says, I've heard that we had new guests coming in. I apologize if I have not heard in advance of any dietary requirements that you might have needed. None were communicated to me. Is there anything special that I should take into account?
Well, we truly appreciate this fantastic stew that you introduced. My fellow colleague may ask for something without meat, if there's possibility.
Of course. she sort of perks her ear up, trying to sort of to locate where that sound is coming from. Oh, a bird
It's
folk.
directly next to Professor Hawthorne.
Yeah. A bird folk. And what would be their usual dietary necessities? Is it more grain or fruit? I can have a porridge done very quickly.
Professor Hawthorne would know that fruits would be most applicable.
Okay.
Yeah. So my friends would prefer fruit in the first place.
Ah. Oh. Well, if you don't mind a bit of repetition, I could gather up what I've had planned for next morning. Plenty of fruit in that. She turns and sort of signals again, sort of sightlessly to the acolytes. Could you bring out just a bowl of tomorrow's breakfast, please? And the acolyte just nods again without a word, goes through the door into the kitchen, and within a few moments comes out with a large. It's basically a sort of muesli with large sort of slices of fruit. Some of them you do not recognize at all. I don't think Anput has ever seen a banana.
I don't think so. No, nope. Anput goes to like pick one up, and then it's like, wait. She inspects it. She looks at it quite. Is it peeled? I'll ask that question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I have never seen a banana served unpeeled in my life, and therefore it's not within my imagination.
So what? Anput goes to pick one up, but she holds it just a little bit too harshly, and she kind of just let it falls apart on the plate. She eventually gets the grip of it, not to hold it too hard. But yeah, she does enjoy it. But if anyone wants to look over, the Raptor is enjoying her food.
No. Good. I'm happy that you like it. Or at least that some form of discovery, from what I can hear. How about yourselves? Is there any other amenities that I should take into account?
So far, the evening's been lovely. Thank you so much.
Well, that is
How
good
long
to
do
hear.
you people usually stay?
Well, by nature, my sisters and I need little sleep, so we usually run towards just before midnight or so. And then early morning in the kitchens.
No rest for the wicked, I guess. Is there...
What are you insinuating by that?
It's an expression. What else would I be accentuating? I'm curious, though. This is obviously a bit recent for us that have the opportunity, have the time, really, to rest. Do you often see people in the military profession coming through, or has this been more of a recent development?
Well, from what I understand, the war is spanning the entire continent. Anyone who might step through these doors would be looking for some sort of escape. And we intend to provide. Also, some just come here for, well, personal development in a way. There was such a lovely young man coming by from a nearby kingdom, wanting to ask about ways to woo his beloved. That was...
Is that so?
Absolutely. Sune, in her wisdom, wishes to help all to find who they are.
There's a bit of a smile at that. I'm assuming that some find it more challenging than others.
Some are more reticent to looking deeper inside them. It is our purpose as stakeholders in this temple, in a way, to help those who seek. And our ways are both the mundane and the miraculous.
Well, seeing as me and my companions will be here for a while, I'm hoping to see a few miracles, perhaps.
Well, one expects miracles. One is mostly disappointed.
Fair enough. I must admit have had little cause to be religious over the course of my life, but I am not without admiration for the work that you provide here. It's quite remarkable.
She sort of places a hand to. She doesn't wear the same pendant as the acolytes, but there's that gesture and sort of a slow bow. Thank you for that. Now let's check. Now, Morty, let's check up on the others and see how they are faring. If you'll excuse me. And you see the sort of Morty and Greensong sort of turn towards the other three that are seated at the bar, and there's definitely a conversation starting up. I guess, Callahan, because you sort of checked them out earlier, I think you would hear the name of the young woman. Her name is Talia. Her husband is Colin. And Talia is always very sort of rejoiceful at seeing Greensong. You can see they sort of hold. There's a moment where they hold hands together in that way. Talia talking about her day, Greensong politely listening, and Colin is deadpan. Or at least he smiles, but you realize the smile doesn't reach his eyes.
Is this the... I'm here because my wife makes me, or is there something else, like a dislike of the location or of the hosts on a more personal level? Is there a way to insight?
I am not going to give you that question. I'm not going to give you that answer without you actually going up and asking. Come on. Insight is subtle clues. That's a bit big for just looking at a person's face.
Fair enough. But I mean, is this someone just looking bored, or is that someone holding back their actual emotions?
There's some holding back, definitely.
All right, I can work with that.
There's definitely there's a politeness. There's a politeness to them.
All right. I'll keep an eye on them, and if they make their way to the bar, or if they make any sort of opening for conversation, I'll try and linger after finishing my stew.
There's as you are eating a bit late to the meal, there's another young man who comes in. Well, when I say young, it's because I'm in my 40s and he's maybe early 30s. Let's see. Let's give him a bit of a view here. Definitely, as he walks into the room, there's definitely that sort of appraisal of all of you just above the glasses. Sort of a courteous a nod towards you, and sort of almost in silence, just goes up again to the bar and again served his food. You can see that the two halflings have not paid much attention to him, as they are digging into their hearty meal, just taken enough etiquette to not ask questions or speak with their mouths full. And he therefore joins the bar here. You can see that he has a small book that he brings out. He seems to be absorbed with the book as he's eating. Not necessarily oblivious to the world around him, but just not interacting with it.
Did I see the book?
The book doesn't. He's holding it open. He's walking alongside with it, sort of holding it open, so you can't really see the cover. You know what? Make me a perception check. Let's put this on the dice. And that would be a 13. No, unfortunately not. You don't necessarily notice the title of the group, but it seems to be taking his full attention.
After Anput does a nod to this individual if they nod to her, and then a tiny bit later, Anput will look to Professor Hawthorne, and in sign language, do we have to say hello to everyone here? Or can we go about on our own?
Just respond in sign. No. If they approach you, feel free to talk to them, but other than that, we are all here to rest.
It signed back. I will try. I have 2 more uses left. Taps the amulet, not to activate it, just signify.
You will do great.
Thank you. But may I also have a perceive, because Anput will look in their direction as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
I will do that. I have a natural perception of 18. Would you let me to roll anyway?
No, I'll give you that.
I'm having
It's the first thing that actually what I'll say is that the title does not seem to be written in common. It seems to be written in I would say maybe written in Dwarvish.
I would not know that as Dwarvish.
Well, you would look.
Maybe recognize the language.
Yeah, as in you don't necessarily need to speak Japanese or read Japanese to know that
that it is Japanese.
Right? Yeah,
you can see the symbols.
Yeah, you would. Okay. This would be the title would be Dwarvish.
Wait, so Dwarvish is now Japanese?
No.
We're doing an example, but that would be a wild, equivalent.
It would be. Well, that would be a nice way to explain Dwarvish runes.
All Japanese are immune to poison.
Okay, let's move on, please.
It's okay.
Yeah. So Dwarvish. I don't know, Hawthorne. Do you speak Dwarvish? Is Dwarvish is Dwarf part of your languages?
No.
Okay.
I'm afraid not.
Anput would share that. Reading Dwarvish.
I would note that of all of the books that are in that corner or that you can see on the shelves around, all of them are in common. They would have been some of them would have been translated from different languages, but the idea is all of them are in common.
Anput will look to the book that Hawthorne had, then to the bookshelf where he got him. Realize this. turn around and say, in sign language, that man is reading a dwarven book. Have not seen
Ooh.
any dwarven books.
Fascinating. Maybe our friend Junnen could know anything about it.
Perhaps.
Can I call your attention, Junnen, and take a look what that person is reading?
Sure.
I mean, at this point, the book is sort of open. I mean, could you read this? Could you read? I'm gonna ask you to make
Passive
a
perception of 15,
15.
if that helps. Yep.
Huh.
Despite being an alcoholic, I have surprisingly good sight.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Well, that's because usually when you're drunk, everything's at disadvantage.
Yes, but I'm not drunk yet, because I've also got a good constitution.
Agreed. I think that it
And a good
wouldn't-
stew.
I don't
Well.
think you can read it from where you're sitting, but it wouldn't take much, as in just sort of stand, and maybe sort of turn around the table or go put your plate
I'll
onto
go
the.
interact with them, sure.
Sorry.
I'll go interact with the table.
Sure. Okay.
They're at the bar, right?
Yeah, he's at the bar. He's got sort of one hand. He basically open-handing his book and with the other sort of eating.
Yeah, perfect. I'll tell the people at the table when I'm asked this. And, I got no problem. I need another drink anyways. Now I finished dinner. So I do that. I head back to the bar. Order a drink. Something with that fancy wine, but in a way that's actually supposed to be enjoyed. And then after I look to the guy next to me. Do you want anything? While I'm saying this, I'm looking down at his book as well.
There's a moment where you sort of break the concentration that he has. It's almost like he sees you for the first time, realizing, oh, somebody else in this universe exists apart from me. Closes the book. The book, I won't have you make a perception check here. It is it's a treaty. It would be a record. It would be named a sort of a record of grudges for a particular clan for a particular period, right? So this is basically a retranscription of the bigger book of grudges that some dwarven clans would have. It would read it would be the equivalent in our society, in our world, of a war record, as somebody would read a treaty on Napoleonic wars or something like that. It's basically a way. It's a book of grudges. It's a book of conflicts witnessed by one particular clan.
My kind and their grudges, we sure do love them. Say, whose clan's got you so interested in their records anyways? Me, personally, I've sort of given all that up for making alcohol. Too much sort of tension to hold on to.
And if I may ask before answering that question, from what clan do you hail from?
The Blothandls. We've been making ale for about, let's say, last 5 centuries, give or take. I think 6, maybe.
Oh, yes, one of the middle clans.
Oh, yeah. Nothing exceptional, and we try to keep our way out of it. Our personal thing is healthy mind makes a whole spirit. So, grudges, we gave that up.
Don't let that. He sort of turns to you and said, "Yeah, an interesting fact. No, this particular record is for the Iron Dwellers.
Would I know who those are?
Yeah. The Iron Dwellers are a clan that disappeared about 200 years ago. As in extinct. As in slaughtered to a man.
I see.
And I know this.
Yes. it's one of the things where the same way that anyone a bit well read or a bit read would know about Waterloo. This particular clan basically they made a tactical mistake, got surrounded, and they got wiped out. All the other sort of clans that participated in the battle, including one very opportunistic that just was there, that just heard about the attack and just decided, you know what, might as well get into it, right? They were including a fairly neutral clan that just decided to hop into the war in that way. They were besieged. The fortress fell, and the clan's fortunes separated, and their entire holdings are now ruins.
Okay. So knowing that, I'll just trying to read up on what not to do in terms of military strategy. Or are you just interested in some ancient history? Actually, well, I want to say ancient history. What species is this person? Upon closer inspection.
He is human. Definitely human.
He's human. Yeah, okay, in which case, trying to learn what not to do as far as military strategy, or are you just
well, they do
interested in what would be ancient history for you?
Well, well, is it not said that one who ignores history is doomed to repeat it?
Oh, of course, but forgive me for the assumption, but there's Dwarven wars are not exactly the same as you human ones. But of course, I won't deny that there is some wisdom to be gained in expanding your knowledge from all cultures.
I thank you for your appreciation of that fact. No. I apologize first. My name is Gale. And you sort of
Gale.
nod a hand.
Shake his hand with a firm grip.
Actually.
Wait, what?
Telsaris. Actually,
Telsaris.
I'm going to start giving you these names. Anyways, you've seen most of them on the. There we go. And for those watching, you get full spoilers.
The ironic, dramatic irony. That's what it's called.
In a sense,
what's going to happen, and then we don't.
Yeah. Well.
No, don't go into the room. That's where the Dead by Daylight killer is.
Absolutely.
Oh no! Just walk it right in. The pallet's already been thrown. All right.
I think you can see the names, right?
Yes.
Okay. No. And what brings you to this oasis of tranquility, sir?
I just came back from it was a cult raid, wasn't it?
You turned to Callahan, who's right behind you. Oh, by the way, that secret mission, was that it?
No, this is an out of character comment, because depending on what the nature of it depends on how much I reveal.
I think, yeah, it would have been a raid. It was a raid on a sort of a doomsday cult.
Well, I'm not going to mention that it was a cult. Just reward from management for dragging us in through a raid that took longer than expected. So we get paid holiday, and after that I get to go home to my liquor making.
Oh. Wow. Always interesting to see one of your folk in active duty. But
Oh, I'm only partially in it. I can quit whenever I'd like. I'm technically just a guild artisan, really. I just happen to have the skills for combat and take the excuse to travel around, learn about foreign lands, foreign liquor, in hopes to perfect my own recipes. This business won't last long for me. Small chapter in my life at most.
Well, enjoy the time nonetheless. It is
Thank you.
finite for all of us.
Of course. For your kind, certainly more.
Yes. To which he sort of stands, sort of pockets the book. And then sort of turns. There's just a moment where if you are to try one bottle, I would suggest the Vitilis wine.
They have it here?
Well, they do have a bottle or two. Interesting. It's said that it's made in rather harsh conditions, and that the workers have, well, usually die off in their 20s.
What, who drunk that?
I'm just saying, sir. The long-lived do not have the monopoly on perfection. And he walks off.
Oh, before you do, if you're well versed in alcohol, how about giving a swig of this?
Apologies, sir, but I don't drink.
Ah, pity. Missing out on one of life's greatest joys.
So you say.
Good evening.
Good evening.
With that, I'm going to take my drink, head back to the table. Just some book of grudges from one of our old clans got wiped off about 200 years. That said, something about the fellow rubs me the wrong way. I mean, for starters, he doesn't drink, but just something else about his demeanor.
You'll have to tell me where you learned your people skills someday.
Why? By getting a belly full of ale and not caring about your dignity. Always assume you've got something to learn and that people can teach it to you at a moment's notice.
And I'm probably gonna order a small drink myself. Nothing as kaleidoscopic as what Junnen ordered, but
Okay. In the interest of moving things forward, I would say the meal happen as the meal sort of continues. We get sort of a bit later in the evening, and you hear a sort of another chime that comes in, sort of ending that particular portion of the day, but mostly ending not the meal time, but the time, as in we're moving into late evening, early night. And here you can see that the lights are brought down low. Actually, if I may, let's move this to nighttime.
Dynamic lighting.
No. Just a map with a map at night.
Map, but it's dark.
You've been seeing the dynamic lighting since you've arrived. So.
Yeah, I've forgotten the name of it.
Actually, if you want the true dynamic lighting, let's put it there. Let's remove daylight mode. There we go.
All right, let's eliminate anyone's computer who's not strong enough to process this.
Nah, it
Call
should
the
be.
week.
It should be okay.
Everyone immediately disconnects from Discord as their computers simultaneously combust.
There's a sound of an explosion. Nighttime. Anput is absolutely fascinated by just what is going on. Like the automatic lights.
The Farleys sort of stand. Green Song at this point has gone has sort of moved on to other things. No, actually, Green Sob and Morty have sort of they've started talking to Henry Kolb about his face and he sort of there's a bit of a conversation where blind as she sort of puts her hand out, he sort of grabs hers and sort of places at different areas on his cheek and forehead. It almost looks like sort of almost like a medical checkup, if that makes sense. Talia and Colin have sort of moved by. She's clearly sort of tired, and you can see she sort of snuggling into him with her head on his shoulder as he's sort of walking by. Again, to the rest of you, he sort of has a patient nod. Leola and Kelna sort of slightly do that sort of slight rapid wave to him as they both go to their rooms. Leola and Kelna themselves sort of stand up and say, it was great meeting you. We'll see you tomorrow for breakfast. Are you staying long?
It was a pleasure. We will stay for a month or so.
A month? Leola goes, no. That would be a dream, but no. Come on. Take a month?
How much longer will you be staying?
Oh, I would have to check the records. I think it's about a week. Let's see. Yeah, they've got the... yeah. Just about half a week left. We're trying to make the most of it, and then back to the daily grind, huh? Come on, Kelna, let's get some shut eye. And there's just a
meek little wave,
which is echoed by Kelna.
Night, lassies. We'll catch up with you at some other stage, I'm sure.
Of course.
Anput at this point, like, she's gradually, like, moved her chair closer to Professor Hawthorne. And in sign language, when do we get to see our rooms?
Okay, it's time to call it a day. All right, let's take a look.
Okay. Right. You are one of the acolyte that was taking the sort of still seated there at the at the makeover. That's it. Sort of stands and sort of waves to you to follow them. So if you wish, you may. I'm just gonna move these two here. There we go. Right. So, if you wish to follow the corridor north and then take a right, I will be showing you your rooms. So this way right here.
I'm guessing the couple, they left already.
Yes,
right?
they've left. Yes. And actually, you've seen Henry Kolb follow Green Song through the double doors at the north.
Interesting. Okay, taking note of
that.
Let's see. So in room number 1, which is this one right here, that is going to be Junnen and Callahan. And room number 2, there we go, is going to be for Anput and Lucius.
Yay!
There we go.
This is lovely.
Anput will wave to the other two.
So
She ducks inside.
As you looked toward, as you're maybe we all do this when we go to the hotel, is that we check each other's rooms to see which one has the better one. In this case, they are nearly identical. A well-furnished guest room containing a pair of comfortable beds, a pair of sturdy chests for storage, a wall lantern, full-length mirror, and a desk that sort of holds small bottles of lotions and soaps and so forth. So you have underneath the bed, you find basically a chamber pod for each. Though Hawthorne, you would notice just at the touch of it, you do feel that they have some sort of enchantment put upon them. Most likely a cleaning spell or something along those lines.
Fascinating.
Anput is immediately feeling the bed. How comfy is it?
It is. It's quite comfy. Though I think that. Here's a question for all four of you. What would be your level of? What would be your level of comfort? What would be your level of lifestyle? That's the word. Are you used to living on the streets and in camp? Are you amenable to luxury?
I'm definitely more used to more luxury.
Okay. Soft beds.
Say modest. Mostly depending on sort of where I am at any given moment. You know, most of the time, it'd mostly just be a little sort of place in my workshop, so average bed. There have been times where I pulled all-nighters and slept in all sorts of uncomfortable positions, so modest is probably most fitting.
Okay.
This is an interesting one for Anput because she doesn't really have a means to be able to communicate with the world that well. So she's taking care of the guild itself. So she lives relatively comfortable. But to simulate the fact that to simulate like a semblance of home, she kind of just lives on like I don't want to call it bags of hay. That makes it sound like far more impoverished than it sounds.
Yeah,
but it's reduced to the point where like it would be comfortable for her. So when
this is a bit much.
Yeah, this is a lot for
I mean, can you be insulted if it's a feather downer? If it's a down comforter, but there's definitely I guess for you it would be a bit too soft, right? Definitely for you, Junnen, as in this is beyond just your cot. This is there is luxury here, right? How about you, Callahan?
I think Callahan is not used to luxury, definitely appreciative of it, definitely opportunistic. Has had the chance of savoring it, but usually, certainly in recent memory, past couple of years, has been living rough, and also living in military conditions after that. So this is not unfamiliar, but also not comfortable. There's a part of him that is not entirely at ease, even though he likes to pretend that he is.
Okay.
In sign language, Anput will turn around, getting Professor Hawthorne's attention. Bit too soft. Is there anything else to make the bed harder? More comfortable for me?
I can help you with that. I can put some books under the duvet.
Sleep on some books. Not sure if books would be nice to sleep on.
No.
I will make do if needed.
All our effects have been moved to our rooms, right?
Yes, all of your effects have been moved to your room. You wish to inspect the chests, or do you go on trust?
No, I would definitely inspect mine.
Okay.
Let me look around my stuff if I can help you. Little Anput.
Don't go out of your way. It's fine. Anput sits on the bed, trying to get used to it. She'll like do that kid thing where she like kind of like bounce, like she kind of like moves around on the bed a little bit just to see how it is, like sitting down.
Okay.
But she would also go into her things as well.
All of you sort of bed down for the night. Do any of you have any particular rituals or ways of sort of mannerisms before going to sleep, or is it just the military military crash? It's a bed, sleep, and you're out.
I imagine, given that I would have been drinking a lot, just get changed into more suitable sleeping wear and see how a mixture of slightly tipsy and cloud-like mattresses makes me just feel like I'm floating as I drift into sleep.
Okay.
Anput makes a nest.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't know if anyone was speak. Sorry, but Anput makes a nest. It's because she, at the end of the day, she is a bird.
Yeah, she is a bird. Yeah.
And she looks back every now and again to Professor Hawthorne because I don't think she's never had anyone view her do this before. So there is like a twinge of embarrassment to be like, oh, and then she continues until she does have like a. Have you ever seen like a dog, like
go
pull
around.
like covers?
Yeah.
Not like walk around, but kind of like pull clothing.
Yeah.
Or like
definitely
like quilts. She does that before she eventually nestles down. Because she doesn't sleep with any covers. She definitely puts on some clothing that she brought here. She knew she was staying a few nights. So she's just got something. She's got something other than the bathrobe on.
Okay.
Put it nicely to the side. But she is, for the most part, on top of a quilt.
I just admire the process.
Junnen, Callahan?
I think Callahan would have waited for... Yeah, he would have waited for Junnen to fall asleep. There's only so much privacy you can have in a military environment, but still, he'd wait until he was asleep to take off his robes, fold them neatly, and he would sort of try and then massage a little bit his chest, where there's something looking vaguely like almost like a keloid scar, kind of like spidering across his chest and shoulder.
We don't see it very well. Maybe it's because the angle makes that it's hidden behind your hand, or we just see the edges of it. We do understand, seeing them by the body language, that it's uncomfortable, but we can't just see it what it is yet, right? But you bed down for the night, and I think that there's a moment where three of you are indeed asleep. We have Junnen, sort of that heavy sort of the heavy snore, sort of the very steady sort of almost an ultrasounds, right? The very sort of low, not ultrasounds, infrasounds.
Ultra snore.
Yeah, Callahan. I can imagine him being very, very still. Professor Hawthorne, again, sleeping in that way, that sort of that very deep sleep, that falling sort of immediately. This is a level of comfort which, and with the atmosphere, the lighting, the sounds coming out from the windows, from the woods, with the night owls and the brushing into the trees, it's almost hypnotic, and it literally sort of pulls you into sleep. But Anput, you are not a creature of this particular world, and there are some things that don't necessarily have the same impact upon you.
This is completely different to how she, like, the environment in itself. Like when she hears like an animal noise, perks up a lot. And for the most part, she doesn't sleep. And I do have a bit I want to do, but if you have more.
Well, it's a moment where, as you said, as in the sort of that it picks up. Are you feeling like you need to take a night walk? And do you want to
I don't think Anput wants to leave the room.
Okay.
Anput will she'll sit up for a bit in her nest and look over the dear professor who has helped her this, like, the moment she got to the guild. Professor Hawthorne has always been there. She'll slowly climb out, go to his bedside, and slightly pull at his arm, or like poke a little bit to try and rouse him.
I think that as you're trying to sort of maybe rouse him, there's a moment where that sort of gentle snore of his, or that the sort of it just goes silent, just on the eve of waking up, right? Just on the cusp of him sort of moving back from that deep sleep up to awareness, where you hear scratching coming from outside the door. At first, you might have thought maybe this is an animal or this is something, but you said it yourself. These noises you're not used to, and in an environment where you don't recognize the noise, in an environment like this, as soon as you hear a noise that you are not used to, you focus on it. It's that instinct that you have. It almost feels like scratching, like claws on the floor, the wooden floor outside the door. You also hear there's a scratching, there's a metallic scratching, as in somebody is rubbing two slight pieces of metal together.
Does Professor Hawthorne wake up at all?
For now, I'm saying that this particular noise has interrupted your process. Okay. It wouldn't take much to raise him, but right now something has taken your attention away from the professor.
Well, Anput will absolutely indulge this. She'll slowly go up to the door, but she'll listen first. She'll listen for the noise.
You can hear the scratching, again, rubbing of metal against metal. There's that just that moment of and actually you could look through the keyhole.
Anput's going to grab a quick kind of scamper up to her stuff, grab her cloak, very haphazardly throw it on.
Mm-hmm.
And in her own fashion, she's going to she's gonna open the door a tiny crack, but she's also, can I make a stealth check as well?
Please do.
She will completely cloak the colorful colors on her feathers as I try and find the button for this. That is a very powerful roll. 27 instantly into
absolutely.
The darkness.
We see immediately the nickname of the Nightbird, come in as you step out into the corridor without a sound, knowing very well the way your own claws would react on this kind of soil. You move up, and as you turn the corner, you can just see down the corridor. There's that first door where you would know the Farleys would be sleeping, and then there are a couple of more doors down. And a bit further down, you can see the figure of a small reptilian silhouette, long snout, ridged tail, and basically sort of muttering to themselves here in the silence of this corridor. And they're fiddling with the lock on the door. I'll move you just so that you can see. As you
passed. So I think here. I can't see my character. I don't have dark vision.
Why don't you?
It is all. Because I don't.
You don't have. Do you not have dark vision on your character with
Is it supposed to be dark in the corridor? I'm assuming so, right?
Yes. But let me just.
Oh boy. Hold on. Let me look at the species. Doesn't say anything about dark vision. No. Raptors do not.
Okay, interesting. I would normally you should have some light in the corridor. Actually, this is what I'm gonna say. I am gonna give this little guy a little bit of light. You're supposed to be sneaky, so I'll give you low light. There you go. There you go. Does that help?
Hold on. Oh my goodness. Yes, it does. Thank you.
So just on the edge, sort of finicking with one of the locks, sort of muttering, and you see the shape of a kobold. Wearing what seems to be sort of it's all the more strange that he or they is completely white. Yeah, don't worry, I gotcha. Completely white, almost sort of ghost-like in that slight illumination, fiddling on the door, muttering to themselves, and then turns and sees you. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight.
Hey.
Oh.
Well, doesn't see you.
What an intro.
I'll let you decide what you do next time.
Okay.
Right. Cool. Thank you very much.
This was great.
Eating up.
Thanks for
Thank you.
For
thanks
those for those who are listening, what I usually do is end here with the story. So if you're just interested in the story, we thank you for listening. Once again, check the links below if there is any information there. If there isn't, well, let me know in the comments. Thank you to my players. So again, BardicDesperation, Brasdelait, David and Demospy. This is starting off well, right? For those who would want, and if my players are wishing, I usually do a little bit of aftercare, so a little bit of debriefing. If you can stay, feel free to stay. If you want to leave, feel free to leave. I will just take a little break here, and we will be back maybe with those who, if they decide to share what they thought of tonight's session. Right. On that note, thank you again, because my thank you comes always in threes, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
Yow.
And enjoy.
Bye, guys.
Hey guys, we're back. So, how are we liking it so far?
I was a little afraid of how I was going to, basically break into Anput.
Yeah.
As role playing the character. That's always difficult for me. I haven't had to do it for quite a while. Playing a character who doesn't normally speak the common language is a...
Yeah.
There are ways around it. There was the main idea, the main thought around it was I won't get to interact with many conversation. It has everyone's seen it now. Anput as a charisma of 6. I debated putting that into Constitution and playing it up as a like a health debilitating issue. But the charisma, that is an interesting combo. So I hope what I've done is an okay. It is okay. Isn't okay.
Oh, it's definitely great fun to see as a cat.
I think we lost BardicDesperation again.
I think we lost our GM. I think his cat might have showed up.
You shall not pass, Gandalf. Why is this Tabaxi got a? Why has it got a magical staff? It's casting a spell at me. Oh, hello. You are back. You right?
And we're both
We
back.
basically missed everything you said.
I was right. It was the cat.
No. It was. First of all, yeah. I always admire somebody who comes in and says, "Look, I want to do a little bit different. I want to move up my communication." Right. I had a player who famously always wanted to play Kenku, and so basically we came up with a method of how to communicate with a Kenku. I mean, I had to. I mean, I remember you were mentioning, "Oh, I don't speak Common. I don't understand Common."
That last part isn't true. I wasn't quite sure how we would go around that, but yeah, definitely being able to understand Common would be in the wheelhouse to even understand the Common sign language.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wasn't sure about that one.
But it was for me. It was important that you be able to at least understand what's going on around you, right?
Yes.
So I've had a good friend, Canadian, American, North American, joined us for a LARP a couple of years ago in Belgium. Everybody could speak English, but everybody was always speaking in French. She would have to join and make herself known so that people would, and so she was there in the middle of everything, not understanding what was going on, and it was a bit too bad for her, I guess. Well, it's too bad that she couldn't
wasn't
interact.
able to properly join in,
absolutely.
interact with everyone.
And so that's what I want. That's definitely what I wanted to avoid with this character, which is interesting. So,
I don't know if it was just me, but BardicDesperation did. I think you cut out when you were speaking, and I didn't get it all.
Yeah, sorry about that. I am currently in a guest location, and the internet is strange and alien to me in this place, and also my laptop, it's doing its best, but
It's serviceable.
Every now and then it is a bit of a challenge, and I'm not sure if it's the laptop this time or the internet. But yeah, apologies for that. I hope the sound quality is still going to be reasonable.
We can understand you. And that is all we need.
Good. I mean, for the upload and for whoever might be watching and or listening in the future, hello to the future. I hope that you can understand me.
Nah, I'll check. Don't worry about it.
Good.
Big check. I'm mostly worried about like being able to get like everyone involved.
I mean,
having someone sit on the side for a long time isn't too great.
That is literally my job. So don't worry about it.
As far as one-shots are concerned, I'm much happier giving people the spotlight, so if you ever start to feel concerned about me, don't.
Alright.
I've been in other campaigns, I've got long-running campaigns in the background as well. And I originally was going to hold off on joining this one to give the spot to other people. I only joined because I saw that people weren't filling in, despite the fact they absolutely should have for a generic GM one-shot. so I decided to
Thank
put myself
you.
in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this is an interesting scenario. It's an interesting adventure. There's because it really will depend on how you engage with it. You've gotten. I'm not saying that you've gotten all the clues, but you've met all the there's one or two characters you haven't met yet. But it should be enough to sort of whet your appetites for interaction. This is very much an adventure that if you let yourself be just so just float around, you're not going to get anything out of it. So feel free to dig in next time. And I think there's already a couple of clues that I put out. I think I put out there. I don't know how subtle I was. But yeah, the night's going to be interesting, and breakfast is going to be interesting as well, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
As something I do struggle with is that I do just let the flow take me. So when I'm playing a video game, I won't really go out of my. The only time I go out of my way is if there's a little intrigue or something pointing my way there. The only time I would go is I don't know. I think I've contradicted myself now. But basically, I just follow a main story, and that's about it. If it says literal side quest, then I'll go, ooh, side quest, and I'll go do that first.
Yeah,
but
I get that.
it's manual exploration is a little bit difficult on my part, so I'm trying my best to get it going. I hope I didn't just go round in a circle saying all of that.
Yeah. And what I like to do is I try to make sure that everyone involved in the session and in the campaign or one shot is in the same film, right? That we don't have one person who is like, ooh, I love to explore every single room and unlock all of the bonus content in the same game as someone who is like, oh, I am a hardcore role player and I'm just interested in playing my little guy and kind of embodying them to the best of my abilities. Because if those two things don't harmonize, and there's ways to harmonize them, but if people don't agree on that, then that's a bit of a challenge. And this story seems like it has hooks for different kinds of characters too, like people who are more social, people who are more observant, people who are more into. So I think that's gonna work out well.
I've accidentally started a Metal Gear Solid moment.
How so?
Anput has grabbed a barrel and is now traveling through the hallway.
Oh, I see. Lovely.
Great.
Be a bomb.
Number one most useful spycraft item. the box.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, thank you all for tonight's session. This was.
Thanks to you.
This is. It's always interesting running sessions for people you don't know, because you never know really what to expect. And so far, I'm liking this group. Really liking this group. So.
I will continue my bird noises if they are entertaining.
Please do. I'll just. There it is. If I can hear it, then it will appear on.
Oh yeah, that was a quick question. You could. I talked a little silently during some of those Anput self-speaking bits, but did it all come through?
We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Okay.
But normally,
for everyone here,
if I heard it,
okay,
it's come through. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I won't worry about it then.
Okay.
I'll just remember to.
Sorry.
I'll just remember to be a lot speak a little louder and be clearer.
When I'm speaking,
Yeah.
When I'm doing that.
I do have to say, it makes certainly a massive difference between the last one shot I was in with you and this one.
Mm-hmm.
Where this one was entirely roleplay based for this session.
Yeah.
Which is great. I really like that. Compared to the previous dungeon crawl, where it's non-stop combat.
Cowabunga it is.
Yeah. which is why I'm running this one.
Ironically
Palate
enough,
cleanser.
from the just like basic impression so far, it sounds like my two characters would have fitted better in the opposing one shots than in the ones they ended up in. With the exclusion of my last 10 minutes,
We'll see.
my last 10 minutes were what I was saving up for, but this character isn't useless here, but it's definitely more of the brutish type compared to the inquisitive mystery. Although I did give myself perception.
Believe me, you will. You will be used. So.
I can
Full
take
stop.
damage.
Everyone
but also-
does have their place in the conversation as well.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, the idea, yeah. Well, I'll do a debrief at the end of just to know everything that was sort of improvised and so forth. But I find it very. By the way, just so you know, the guests that you're with are actually rolled on a table. So you could have gotten completely different people.
Interesting.
Including a very flirty drow who is trying to pass himself as Jarlaxle. So Jarlaxle is sort of a drow Robin Hood, a very famous bandit kind of thing. Just because he wants to try and get free stuff to pass himself as a celebrity. But I just felt that I did not want to play that obnoxious character.
You didn't want to go there today.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Anyways, guys, on that, I will bid you good night. As in tomorrow, I have a very early morning, and because I am actually starting a new job, so.
Oh,
I wish you luck.
Ethan, nice T-shirt.
Hi, thank you.
Um,
Mario, it was today I saw that Mario Kart World dating the video.
Yeah, you caught the direct as well. All good stuff with the exception of prices.
Yeah, I've seen that one. We'll remains to see how that looks.
Yeah.
I don't think
So,
the prices are gonna drop
folks,
actually. All right.
I'm going to end the conversation here. Thank you for those who are still listening. I hope that this has been insightful. If you want to hear more of these sort of after session debriefs and such, let us know. If you find it boring, I'll take that into account. Maybe. Okay. On that note, here's the third goodbye. Good evening, goodbye, good night, and keep telling stories. That's all I have to say.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Oh yeah.
Bye-bye. Ta-ta.